Good evening to wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome back to another episode of In It for the Tech's NJ Show. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Going to do a quick shout out to everybody there. Happy Monday to everybody who's alive and awake on this Monday morning. Monday afternoon in the UK, actually. Monday afternoon. How is everybody doing? We are live. We are live. That's always good to know that we are live. Let's make sure we've got that there. Okie dokie. Right. So, who have we got in the chat? Who have we got? Who is alive? There are two comments that I can't click on, which is from Nicholas Giroux, who says, NJ, good morning. Stephen M. Crypto says, good afternoon. All hope everyone had a fab weekend and will be driving during the stream. Well, no problem, Stephen. No problem at all. Thank you for joining the show. We've got August here, who says, hey, all good vibes. August is always bringing good vibes into the chat. It's good to see you, August. Thank you for tuning in. Hafuel, my number one, my moderator. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining the show, as always, as you always do. We've got Trader Kid here, a bit of a new name. I've not seen you before, mate, but he says, how's everybody doing? Thanks for joining the show, bro. Good to see you. Phil the Flying Frenchman, always here. Phil is always here. One of the OGs on the show, one of the OGs on the channel. I remember Phil joining the streams back when I had like, I don't know, 300-400 subscribers. Good to see you, Phil. Good to see you. Who else have we got in the chat? We have got Luke. Luke says hello. Hello, Luke. Good to see you, Luke. Fatih says, good morning, brother NJ. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you too, Fatih. Thank you for joining the show. The Ape Coach says, yo, NJ and the fam. It's good to see you, Ape Coach. Thank you for joining. We've got Lily. Lily's always joining the show as well. Quant going crazy. Please chart. All right, we'll have a look at QNT for you, sis. No problem. Lord Corey says, morning, brother NJ. Good to see you, Corey. Thank you for joining. And last but not least, Jody says, morning, my man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. So we've got quite a bit to discuss today. We have got quite a bit to discuss. So I'm not going to long this one out any further. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll bring up our trusted screen. I know that some of you guys might want some charts. We will do that. I've literally nuked my Bitcoin chart, by the way. I've kept it fresh. I've marked out one line. I want it to look fresh. You know, I've completely nuked it. And when you do things on a higher time frame, you tend to be able to use them for a good while, you know? So what I've done is I've nuked it here. But nonetheless, we'll start the show with how we start the show. We've got to look at what the market does. So this, for those who don't know, is the Forex Factory. This is something that you guys should all be using on the Monday. All right, you should all be using this on the Monday, just to check what the traditional market, what's happening with the traditional market, what's going on, what you'd be aware of. Anytime you see red, that's something that you should be reading, especially if it's got USD right next to it. So today we've got the Empire State Manufacturing Index. These type of things, they don't really have an impact on the market, which is why we don't do these, like we don't do live streams to cover it. Usually we do CPI, we do FOMC, we do PPI now as well, which is having an effect. But this is not really much to worry about today. All right. CPI, I know you guys can see CPI here for that. That's for New Zealand, so it's not really much to worry about. Australia, USD, GBP, CPI for the pound for UK, meh. CPI for CAD, meh. It's just going to be the pretty much opposite of the US one, is it, for GBP. Again, here we've got the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. That's on Thursday. And on Friday, we haven't got anything. So the good thing about what we're seeing here is that there's not really much going on this week. So that gives us clear skies. Okay, that's good. Good to know. In terms of the crypto market, what have we got going on here today? Again, focus on the last 24 hours. Don't look at the 1 hour or the 7 day. It's pretty much stagnant. Okay, we haven't had anything really happen. It's still a Monday morning for most people. And other than QNT, which we are going to look at later on today, QNT is going mental. 33% for the week and 13.5% for the day. That is how you start a Monday morning. And I know QNT has a massive community as well. So we will take a little dive into QNT. We've got Maker here as well, which is up 7% for the day. That's a bit of an interesting one. I haven't seen anyone talk about that. And we've got Synthetics. Okay, SNX making a comeback. I'll take some of that. SNX making a comeback with 11% for the day. Albeit the chart here looks absolutely horrendous, but yeah, let's move over to Bitcoin. Oh, Kojo is saying Injective too. Injective. INJ. Where is INJ? Is I surely INJ is in the top 100. Don't tell me that INJ is not in the top 100. Really? INJ. 186. Interesting. 16% up for INJ. That is badass. I know SC's been really smashing that one. PYR is looking good today as well. I'll tell you what. Let's have a look at some of the charts. And Trader Kid is saying EWT as well is making a run. Let's have a look at EWT. What's that? Energy Web. Energy Web is up 33% for the day. Goodness gracious, Trader Kid is printing money. Trader Kid, where have you been in our lives? Where have you been in our lives? Goodness, look how bullish that looks on the lower time frame. Looks like it wants to take these highs here. I mean, we'd need to chart it, but it looks like there's another 10% in this thing. You know, not financial advice. Make sure you guys aren't buying just off what I'm saying. But it's good to look at the market like this. Right. Maybe we'll chart EWT as well. Where does it trade? Where does EWT trade? Maybe we'll chart this one as well. Qcoin, Kraken. Okay, all right, we'll chart that one as well. So I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look at Bitcoin, all right, just to get some perspective. All right. And then what we'll do is we'll go through the rest of the show. So when it comes to Bitcoin, you know, I felt like it was a little bit noisy on my chart. I felt like I needed a clean slate, and I need to do the same thing with Ethereum as well. Even though I prefer to chart Bitcoin over Ethereum. So what I've done here is this first level that I've marked out here. There's a reason I've marked this level out here. I've marked this level out here at 17,500-ish, all right? The reason I've marked this level out is because that is the original high. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, for me anyway, all right, and credit here goes to SC for teaching me this. But if we look here, in fact, let's actually get this perfectly right. So 17,750. Let's mark that out correctly. So we'll do 17,750. 17. Oopsie daisy. 17,750. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, 17. Yo, what one? 17. Oh, oh my goodness. Yo, what on my trading view? Why is all this happening? There we go, 17,750. Goodness gracious, that was a bit of a long one, wasn't it? Rightio, so the correct level is 17,750. Now, the reason I've marked this out is because this is the high that was actually made in 2017. And this here is the deviation, right? As soon as we got below, we found the retest, and then we really drastically sold off. So that's the reason I've marked out that 17,750 level. I suppose we could mark out the high as well for 2017. Gets a little messy from that point, but we can do that, not a problem. And we'll see what we are left with. All right. So this is good. This is good. We can see that we've got a range here. Okay. And this range is between the all-time high, which comes in at 20,093 on BitMEX, and 17,750, which is the initial high that was made before the deviation. Okay. So that is the range that we are currently trapped in for Bitcoin. Can you guys all see that? Yeah. Now, below that, where would I be looking to? If we did start breaking down, where would I be looking to sort of trade Bitcoin? I'd be looking at around here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the body of this candle and not the wick. All right. And you guys will see why I'm doing that as we transition into the final picture, okay? And I know I'm doing this all in the weekly, but I like to get my higher time frame levels in order first, and then mix and match as we go into the lower levels. So what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at two ranges. I'm looking at a small one and a bigger one. Okay, we've got a small one right here where price has been chopping for the last couple of weeks, and then we've got our expansion range, which sits in between 17,750 and roughly around. Hold on, roughly around 11,300. Okay, so this is kind of where I expect price to gravitate towards if we're going to break down lower. Okay. Now, just from the weekly alone, I don't want this to get too noisy. What I want to show you guys is this for the time being. Yeah. If we are to go higher, we have to crack this 20,300, this 20,100 level. All right. If we can crack this 21,100 level, then we can start targeting these wicks here. Okay. Then we can start doing that. Now, more time, people are sort of looking towards downside. Now, I'm of the belief that during Q4, which we are in now, we have reasons, traditional market macro reasons for us to go lower. Okay. For those of you who don't understand, there are two types of ways to trade. You have risk on and you have risk off. Risk on is when you have the risky pairs, the pairs that, make you want to gamble a little bit, make you want to start throwing the dice, you know? And then the risk off pairs are pairs, like the bonds, the yields, etc., etc. All right. So right now, given the state of the market right now, given the news that we consistently keep getting in terms of inflation, in terms of energy prices, in terms of the overall demand for resources, for raw materials, it seems to be that risk on is not going to come anytime soon. And therefore, if we are in a risk off environment, we are probably going to see lower prices. Now, if we're going to see lower prices, then we don't need to take a 15-minute chart and look for 510R. That's all good. If you're a day trader, that's all good. Most people I know aren't able to really day trade, but you know what I'm saying, if you are a day trader, then you can go into the 15-minute and take a look. You can fall into that illusion if you want, but you will learn the same way all of us else learn, right? But on the higher time frame, I'm looking for a range to play. I'm looking for clear targets. Where could Bitcoin go? Now, if we're going to go lower, then 17,750, it's just a range play for me. If we are to do this, that doesn't mean anything to me. That could arguably be a sign of accumulation, a sign that we've left the bear market and that we are looking at sideways price action. Sideways price action, compression, I'd be looking at something like this if that was to unfold. Bear in mind, this is the weekly time frame, okay? This is not the 5-minute time frame. Now, if we were to break out and we would hold underneath the initial high made in 2017, all right, then where would my targets be? Now, I know that in terms of a directional play, I know that I've got a very clean target here at 11,300. Why is that a clean target? It's a clean target because we've got clear resistance right here. We've got price trying to break above heavily here, and we just couldn't. When price tried to break heavily above this area here, notice how the sell-off led to really, really deep lows. So this proved that this is serious resistance. Now, I know this is hindsight. But using hindsight, we're able to see the power of a level. All right. Now, we've got right here, this was confirmation. This wasn't a retest of resistance. This was a retest of this block right here. All right. And then we sold off. Now, notice what happened after we tapped it the fourth time. After we tapped it the fourth time, 1, 2, 3. Once we tapped it here for the fourth time, we started pushing out. Okay. One close above, and we were able to push. Where did we find an area of sort of trouble? Where was the first real trouble area on the higher time frame? It was the range that we are in right now. Okay. The range that we are in right now between 20,100 and 17,750. So on the higher time frame, I kind of know what I want to be looking for. Okay. That 11,000 to me looks really, really clean, but we can't just use 11,000 as a target because that might never come. All right. So that's where we start building our ranges. We can see we've got two ranges on the weekly. Okay. We've got this range in the middle here and we've got this range here. So the first thing I want to do now is I want to look for the mid range between this range low and this range low. All right. The mid range would fall. If I was to eyeball it, it would fall roughly around here, but we don't need to eyeball it because we can do this. There we go. Yo. Oh. There we go. Okay, cool. So if we do this, Excuse me. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll mark out the mid range here just like this. Okay. There we go. Now, if I remove this range like this, and now we have got our weekly mid range. And to be honest, it kind of looks like, if you look at it clearly, it kind of looks like we're building up a wider sort of range to trade anyway. And what I'll do is I'll turn this into a different color. Go with orange. We'll go with orange on this one as well. All right. So there we go. There we go. So now we have our range that we are starting to look at, and we are starting to see the possibilities of us trading back inside of this range. Okay, now from a higher time frame, as I mentioned, if we are to break this level, if we are to hold, you've seen in the past here, it's not taken a lot of confirmation in order for us to sell off. And likewise here, it's not taken us a lot of confirmation in order for us to get sent off. So if we was to go lower, if we was to break below this, close below this, and hold, it would only take a week, I reckon, before we started pushing to the downside. Okay, the first objective would have to be here, natural magnet for price, and that comes in at exactly, hold on, 14,500. I think that would be a great place to start accumulating Bitcoin. Okay, in terms of the downside, again, if we was to break this and go lower, I don't quite know if we'll actually tap 11k. I don't quite know if we will, but for me, anything below this mid-range would be a deviation. So if we was to sort of come down and do something like this, whether we tap it or not, as soon as we get above, I know that there's some objective here to get towards 17,500. If we was to climb above 20,100, and if we was to climb above from there, and the sort of macros lined up, then we'd be looking at a completely different picture. We'd have to start having the bull market conversation. All right. But that's on the daily, that's on the weekly. Sorry, that's on the weekly. If we go into the daily now, right, just to get some clearer ideas of what we're seeing, we can start ignoring this price action here and move over to where we currently are. And like I said, we are in two ranges right now. Okay. Everything above here is its own sort of range. You can look, I think it's October's, I think this is October's range, isn't it? But I'm still keeping it to the higher time frame. I don't want my chart to get too noisy yet. Okay. Now, one thing that we can deduce from this area here is that we are trapped. Okay. We are trapped. If we take this as a range low, if we take this as a mid range, the range high will probably come in at around here. There we go. It will probably come in at around here, and I'll use this as green. Okay. And notice as well how price has respected all of this. Okay, so you've got resistance here, you've got the range, you've got the chop, you've got the deviation above, you've got the breakdown below, you've got the retest, and then you've got the sell-off. And now, now, as you can see, this is where price is pretty much trapped. Okay, so for those of you who know how I do my breakdowns, the first question I always ask myself is, where is price trapped? And in order to answer that question, it can take a little while to get there. But where is price trapped? All right. Now, price for me is trapped between this range high and the 2017 first initial high before the deviation. All right. And if we look here, where's my range high here marked out at? It is 22,500. All right. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it. So what we can do from here is we can keep our trades very, very short term. You can see the volatility is leaving. Now, what we can do here is it's very, very simple on the daily time frame anyway. Even if we went to the 4-hour, actually, we could do this on the 4-hour. Here we go, like this. These are the potential trades I'd be looking to take if I saw them unfold. Now, what I want Bitcoin to do is I want Bitcoin to stay in this range for a very long time. Okay. Why do I want Bitcoin to do that? Because as you can see, altcoins are moving. All right. Altcoins are booming. Why are altcoins booming? It's because Bitcoin is not giving us a clear sense of direction, which is allowing these altcoins to breathe. Does that make sense? Right? Now, If we continue to range like this, then perfect. But the reality of that is we've already been doing that for a month and a half now. Bitcoin and knowing what it's done in the past, it's probably going to give us some direction over the course of the next week or two, in my opinion. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we've got clear targets here in order to play Bitcoin. If we get to this level here, at around 18,000, we know that's probably a long into 20,000. If we hold above 20,100 ish, we know that's a potential long into 22,500. That is the areas that I'm looking to play. Okay, we can break it down even further. You can take this area here as a range in itself, and this area here as a range in itself. Okay, you can mark out your fibs and play it that way too, right? So as an example, let's take the bottom part of this range, the range that we are currently in. If we do this like this, and if we zoom in like this, you can now, hold on, there we go. And hold on, let me just make sure this is perfect. There we go, perfectly lined up. Now you can see that even inside of this small choppy range that we've got, we found where price is respecting. Okay, the range lows have been respected. They all look like inefficiencies, but they have been respected, and the range highs have been respected too with their deviations. So you can start playing from here. You can say, okay, cool, we've got highs here. If we come up, take out these highs, get above, close below, I know that I'm going to be playing the shorts all the way back down here to fill in these inefficiencies. Okay, all of these gaps that we've got here, that looks very possible. Even though it's in such a tight range, that looks very possible. Also, at the same time, we know that we've got a clear mid-range right here. Okay, if price was to break below, then the question you've got to ask yourself is, why is price going below the mid-range? At this point, price shouldn't be doing that. Why am I saying that? Because look what we've done here. We've already tried to go below the mid-range. In fact, we've closed below it, and the market's response to that was closing back above. Now, I know that this was event driven. I know that this was all CPI, but still, price is price. Okay, you can ignore the wick. You can call the wick an anomaly, but the bodily close is still a close below the mid range, and it's still a close back above. So if we now start pushing higher, that makes sense. If we start doing this from here and we push up to here, that makes sense. That's a 1 hour trade right there. Okay, if we break above, we'd have to hold it. We'd have to hold it on the lower time frame. So something like this, and I don't want my chart to get too messy, but something like this area here would be your confirmation for higher prices. Okay, and where would I be looking to? I'd be looking to target roughly around this area here would be first. This area here would be first, and then it would be somewhere around this area here. Okay, so I wouldn't see us going higher than 21,500. Not now, not for a little while, but those are the plans for me to trade. And hopefully you guys saw how I did that breakdown too. It's nice to do that on a Monday, just to get clearer ideas, and I'll even remove this. And now we've got our trade plan sorted, and I'll even remove this. And even though we've got our trade plan sorted, we know what to do. We know how to play this market. If it gives us the trades that we're looking for, we can zoom out and our chart is still sexy and clean. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. Now, if we get some crazy news, like say for instance Russia decides they want to really take this Ukraine thing a bit further, if China starts coming out with madness, China come out with a madness today. I'm going to share it with you guys in just a few moments, so stick around for that. By the way, like the video if you haven't already liked the video. By the way, get us to 100 likes. We like to get to 100 likes for every episode. I'm hoping I can count on you guys to do that. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel and get your comments in. I can see all the comments there. I'm going to go through them in a bit. All right. So make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're getting your comments in. Make sure you're liking the video. It's your job as part of the NJ community to help us get known and seen. Help us get to 100 likes. I appreciate every single one of you. All right. Now, if a madness happens, right, one thing that really gets me worried is this here. Okay, you see this price action here where you've got the dip down into that level and then it's a quick sharp shoot back above and then we hold and go. I don't want that to happen here. Like if this happens here, like this, I don't want you guys to be going short too quickly. Don't rush to short it. Wait for a proper confirmation. Even if you have to wait for it to get below this, then take the punt to the downside. Because I'll explain why. Because the way Bitcoin works is, you see these lows here, this one here, this one here, this one here. Bitcoin does this. It will pretend it's going up, then it will shank down, then it will quickly go back up and push up and do that. It will not give you much time to get on board. I've seen Bitcoin do that way too many times, and that's why a lot of people prefer trading Ethereum, just because of that. So watch out for that. If we do break below this level here, which comes in at 17,500, and we start showing sort of resistance at 17,400, 17,300, it starts looking like it really wants to break down. Then we've finally gone back into this range. Okay, we'll have finally gone back into this lower range. Now, there is a lot that I can add to this. There is a significant more amount that I can, in terms of looking at monthly opens, monthly highs, monthly lows, etc. But I wanted a clean chart. I wanted a very clean, zoomed out perspective. Too many people, including myself, are really focused on the hourly, on the 15-minute. And it's not healthy. It's really not good to look at price like that. It's important to look at price from a higher time frame to see what is the direction. Looking at this chop right here, market going up and down. If you're claiming to be smashing this market up and down like this, unless you're trader SC, I don't really believe you. Your P&L, if you are smashing 10R, 15R, 20R, then share your P&L in it. Show us your position size and share your P&L. If I was doing that, I'd share it with you guys. I'd show you guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. Okay, and neither are you. But what I do know, and what I can know, is that I don't really give a shit about these little trading ranges here. Look, real talk. Look at this. You see this area here, I don't really care about it. This area here, I don't really care about it. This area here, I don't really care about it. Do you know what I do care about? I care about being positioned so heavily in this area here so that I can catch all of this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, what they don't realize, and you see this from your favorite influencers these days, it's quite ridiculous how Twitter has become. But they're focused on the lower time frame trades, where you're not really going to make money from that. By the time, if you just position yourself here like this and you ride this bull market, for those of you who are actually here in the 2021 bull market, you guys will know the amount of money that you attract. Sort of 1-2 months in a bull market defeats every single one of these ranges, unless you are a real higher time frame trader with real size. And I don't actually know anyone who has that. I see a lot of people claiming, but they don't actually have that. So, and Trader Kid here with a perfect sort of comment says, one good swing trade makes everything better than a small trade. And a lot of these small trades that I'm seeing online, I don't think a lot of people are taking them. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think a lot of people are taking them. There's a massive difference between a chartist, somebody who's good at drawing colors and drawing lines on a chart and drawing swigglies, and then a person who actually trades. But you guys, some of you are new to crypto, some of you aren't new to crypto, some of you are here. For those of you who are new to crypto, you guys will learn in your own way. You guys will learn as time goes along what the culture is, what the standard is, how people react, how people behave, who the scammers are and who aren't, and etc. 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 You're part on that journey. Do you know what I'm saying? You will go through that journey. You will have your own moments. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so there were two charts that we were going to look at. The first one was going to be QNT, and I think the second one was it EW. Goodness gracious. How do you chart something like this? Whew. How do you chart something like this? How far off the lows is this chart? From the lows, QNT is up 5.5x. Which means that if you put $100 into this trade from the lows, it would now be worth $550. That is insane. All right, let's give it a whack. I'll be really honest with you guys. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I think let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it and see what's going on. Okay, let's have a look and see what's going on. So in terms of the monthly, all right, we've got these monthly bodies here. we've got these. In fact, let me drag this up a tiny bit just to make it. There we go, like this. There we go. So we've got a very clean support and resistance flip there on the monthly. That's fair. That's very fair. If we go into weekly, can we see anything here? Well, we've got this block here, which we can see. Again, it's a support and resistance flip. That's all I can see in terms of QNT. In terms of targets, there are clear liquidity points here, very, very clear liquidity points, all the way up until $345. But how do you get on board something like this? Look at this is the weekly time frame. This is the weekly time. So we'd need some sort of pullback like this on the higher time frame. We can't. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of up candles in the bull market. The only thing I can think of, right? If this was a 5-minute chart, what would you guys expect? You guys would expect this, right? If it was a 5-minute chart, like that, right? So for me, if I was to look at QNT, and I don't even need to go into a lower time frame for this, I'd be looking at this area here. I would, if I was passionate about the project, if I felt like the project had more legs, I'd be looking for a massive correction in this. Not because I'm fudding the project, but just because that's what I would need to get on board. You know, maybe some of this money can go into other altcoins for now. I'm not asking for much. Price has gone up by 5.5x. Okay, I'm asking for a 30% correction. 30% correction. That's a huge SR flip. Somebody in the chat is saying inverse head and shoulders. There we go. Okay, so I'd be expecting something like this. Where's the path? Where's the path button? Path. I'm looking for path. Where is it, man? Why can I not find it? Trend line. Where's path? Bear with me. Path. There we go. So I'd expect something like this. Maybe if it wants to go a little bit higher, why not? If it wants to go a little bit higher, maybe into this resistance here, okay? And then we go back up here, and then we can start targeting sort of these highs here, okay? And when I say that resistance, let me make it a little bit clearer for you guys right here. You see we've got a block here as well, okay? So maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. Can that unfold? It remains to be seen. Okay. But I would not look to be getting on board QNT right now. The risky play, there is a risky play. There is a risky play. We can use supply and demand to find a risky play, not a problem. So if this block up top here is our supply, then surely the block that we've got here is going to be demand, sorry. All right. So supply at the top, demand at the bottom. Okay. Now, we've seen previously that we've wicked off this block here and we've pushed up. Okay, so supply here is strong. We don't really know what the demand situation is saying here because we've not seen it yet. We've not gone there. So what we can do is we can mark out a fib. We can mark out a range from here to here. Okay, and we can mark out the mid-range, and let's see if the mid-range is respecting. If the mid-range is respecting, then what we can do is we can mark out a continuation plan going forward for higher prices. Okay, so look, let's have a look now to see if price looks any clearer. So we are kind of at the mid-range now. Okay, we are at the mid-range now, and what we can do now is we can now go into the lower time frame to see what we'd be looking for here. So in terms of the daily time frame, let's change this. Let's give this some, there we go, a mid-range looking level right there. So what we can do here is we can look for a deviation of the mid-range. Okay, now this is not going to happen on the 1 hour. This has to happen on the higher time frame. So this has to happen on the daily, the 3-day, or the weekly. All right, we need something along the lines of this in order to get on board. And if I just zoom in a little bit for you guys, it would need to be something like this. So it's already done this. Okay, we'd need to see some sort of price action like that, where the mid-range proves to me that it's holding. Okay, then what we could do is again, we need an invalidation to create itself, because right now we can't really long this. On the daily time frame, we don't have a stop loss. The only stop loss we have is here, right at the bottom here. Now we can't long something that is at $210 and our stop loss is at $120. It doesn't. We can't do that. We can't. But what we can do is, if price does something like this, where it gets below the mid range, does whatever it wants to do here, gets back above the mid range and hold, okay, then we can use this as an invalidation. This area here, whichever dip it makes, we can use that as an invalidation, and we can climb towards the $270 level. All right. That's how we can do it. So there is a risky play. There is a risky play, which is possible. I'm not going to lie. It does look a little bit tempting. Probably move this box a little bit higher, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. There is a risky play. You can use the mid-range of the daily time frame as a play. This would take a few days to unfold anyway. And if we did get a spike right up into demand, into supply, sorry, I keep messing that up. If we did get a spike right into supply, that wouldn't look good. That would look even worse than it looks now, because then we've had parabola. Look, we've had that massive push. All right, which means that, it's kind of done. So no FUD here for QNT. Congrats if you got on board, but the time to really get on board was here. Okay, the time to get on board was that $120 level. It wasn't something that I was looking at, to be honest with you. And the time to take profits, TP1 would have been this level anyway. Okay, $202. That would have been TP1. Now, if we've already hit TP1, then we need to set up for the next setup, which would be, to get below it, get back above it, create some sort of deviation, and then we can go to TP2, which falls in at around 267-ish. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if that unfolds. What we can do, I'll tell you what, chat, what we can do is we'll keep this chart as it is, and then over the course of the coming days, maybe on Thursday or something, someone can bring it up to me again. Okay, someone can bring it up and say, hey, can we take a look at QNT? Maybe QNT's fallen back to $120 and it's a probable buy. We can look at it there, or we can look at potentially, if it's holding the mid-range by Wednesday, Thursday, if we're seeing that we're holding it strong, we can potentially look for a long to play into this level here. Okay, that's what we can do. The other chart that you guys wanted me to look at was EWT. So if we look at EWT, this is trading on KuCoin. Let's have a look. Let's break this one down. So if we're looking at the monthly, this on the monthly looks bearish. It looks super bearish on the monthly. Why does it look bearish on the monthly? It looks bearish on the monthly because, look, we've got a key swing low here that sent the market higher. It came back to retest that swing low and it pushed back up. It came back down and it tried to hold. So we'll do the same thing that we did with Bitcoin. The initial low that was made for EWT was here. Okay? Why have I chosen that low? Why do I keep choosing the low before the low? Well, everything below that is the deviation, isn't it? Okay? And we got a hook here. This wasn't a full-on retest. This was a hook. And then we sent off. Now, when it came back to retest this, it came back down. It took out these swing lows and then it pushed back up. This looks like very clean support and resistance to me. Okay? At the same time, it's looking like a horrible short. It does look like a short. If we go into the weekly time frame, what would I need to see to get bullish on this? Well, I'll tell you, I would need to see this. I would need to see this. Okay? I would need to see price flip. I would need to see price push up above the second green level that I drew, and I needed to see it come back in. I'd need to see something in here. Anything, even if it was small, I'd need to see something in here. As soon as we get back above, I'd play this all the way to here. I'd play this to here. Okay, I've taken a very, very similar setup in the past on UTK. Utrust had a very, very similar setup to this. That's how I would do it. And your TP1 is very, very obvious. Your TP1 would be here as well. Okay, so we'll do that in black. I will do that in black. So that is what I'm seeing for EWT. Okay. Now, one thing I will say to you guys before we move off the charts and we move on to other things is do not FOMO. During the bull market, when you see price doing what price is doing, you can say, yeah, if I'm looking on the daily, if I see price do something like this, and then it does 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 this, you can talk about it like that. You can talk about it like that in the bull market. You really can. But in the bear market, when liquidity is leaving crypto and we're seeing less and less volatility coming in, the chances are that this is a retest of into support, into resistance. Look at the monthly time frame. If price was to dump from here, everybody would say in hindsight you were stupid for longing this, because you can see a very clean flip of support. If we invert the chart to make it look easier for some other people, you can see here again, this looks like a complete flip of support into resistance. If it pushes higher, great. We'll see Wagwan. Maybe we'll come back to it on Wednesday or something like that. If not, I'm not going to lie. This is kind of where I'd be looking to. This looks like a pullback. Okay. So for those, if this was a longing chart, a chart where you'd be longing. Every pullback is a long. And then we got here sideways price action. But this is the pullback you'd be looking for to continue the long, right? You'd be looking for something like this, wouldn't you? Right? To take out all of this and to push lower. All right. That's what you'd be looking at. And if we invert the chart one more time to make it look clean, that's what it looks like. It looks like another lower high. So I wouldn't be rushy with this. I wouldn't be impatient. Take your time. This might not be the play. And I'll tell you what, we'll do one more because INJ did come up. We'll do Injective. Okay. Now, Injective, I don't think there's any need for me to do this because I think SC's done this. I think SC's. Oh fuck me, that looks good, but it looks kind of done to me, man. It looks kind of done to me. Hold on, let's have a look. So from the monthly, this doesn't look done. Okay. Yes, we are going to be talking about. So we are going to talk fundamentals in a moment. Don't worry. Let me just get one chart more out the way, and then we'll go into the macro fundamentals. I'm sorry I'm boring you guys with the charts today, but we've got to cover charts as well. We've got to cover charts. We've got to cover news. We've got to cover macro. We've got to cover everything. This is the NJ show. We can't just have one good and one bad. We need to cover everything. This needs to be your one-stop shop. All right. So make sure you are liking the video. Make sure you are subscribing. We've got over 70 of us watching here. We've got 50 likes. Let's get that to 70 if we can, so that whoever else is watching it recorded can help us get to 100 likes. All right. Now, what we've got on Injective here is there are a few things that I'm really liking here. Number one is these small bodied candles. Okay, look at these candles on the weekly time frame. Very, very small bodied candles. And what is price showing us? Price is showing us higher highs and higher lows within these small bodied candles. Now, what tends to happen for those of you who are new to trading, small bodied candles usually lead to very big expansions. I haven't got any examples for you here on this screen. However, I'll show you an example after. It's a beautiful example. It's something that I learned very, very early from SC. I learned that from SC. Funny that. So small bodied candles lead to expansion. So now we've had the small bodied candles and it looks like we are starting to expand. Now, from a weekly point of view, where would we be looking at? If this is the low, then we'd be targeting here. All right. I'd be targeting. Actually, do you know what? I'll change that. I'd be looking at this. There we go. That's the first area of real resistance on the weekly. Now that comes in at, hold on. That comes in at $4. All right. So we've got a range. We've got a range established now. All right. Where did we get these? And in fact, you know what? I can argue it's this high here. Or even this high. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with this high here. That's a good range low. There we go. So what does this high come in at? This high comes in at, bear with me, it comes in at 169. 1699. So let's do that. 169. Fuck me. 1699. And then we'll do 1.699. Okay, there we go. I like that. Then we've got the deviation and we've got the expansion. So we've got our range that we're working in. If we now go to the weekly time frame, can I look for a mid range within this? I'd be looking at here for the mid range. Bear with me. Maybe a bit higher. There we go. Let's give that a mid-range looking vibe. And there we go. Okay, there's our range level for Injective. Now, in terms of the first target, the mid-range falls in at around about $2.88. Okay, so I can see why SC is calling for 250. I can see why he's calling for 250 because if we go into the lower time frames, we can see, if I just make that look a little, I don't like it, OCD, little bit of OCD. There we go. There we go. That looks better. So we can see here that from a range perspective, from a very, very range band perspective, we've broken back into the range and it looks like we want to start pushing higher. Now, if I wanted to get on board this, well, I've kind of missed that opportunity because we've had the deviation here. We've got a clear sort of invalidation now and we can start pushing now. If I wanted to get on board here, let's say, for instance, I bought Injective here, how would it look? It would look like this. Okay, so if I was to buy here, right where resistance is, it would look something like this. Okay, it would be a 1.5R trade. All right, and if we were to get crazy targets like this, I don't think this will. I don't think we should. No, let's not even look at that. Let's not even look at that. All right. So what I'd be looking for Injective is maybe it continues pushing from here and we missed out. Not a problem. If we had a pullback. If we had a pullback like this, right? Any sort of pullback, because, all right, look, I don't like doing this on live stream, but fuck it, let's do it. You see here, this is a range as well. Okay, hold on. This is a range as well. Look at this. And I really don't like doing this. I really, really don't like doing this, but screw it. This is a range as well. Now, look at the black level that we've got here. This is our key higher time frame level. This is our higher time frame range low. And right above it, we've got the mid range. You see that? You see how it all lines up? Okay. So what I'd be looking for now is if this is a range high, okay, if this is a range high in itself, there are two plans that you can play. And I don't like doing this. So please don't take this as a concrete example, all right? Because this is not something that I'm going to be doing on my show very often. It's a kind of a dickhead way of trading. But anyway, look, so this is, you do this, you'd play the breakout over here like this, because we've got clear resistance, 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 resistance. Now, if we close above it today, if we close above it here like this, we can look for the breakout play continuation. What I'd be looking for to get on board mainly, though, a more of an NJ type play would be if it wants to go, let it go. I don't really care. If it does something like this, if this is a deviation and it can come back here, this area here is where I'd be looking to get on board. Confluent with the mid-range, confluent with a higher time frame range low, that's where I'd be looking to buy. So I'd be looking to buy Inj somewhere around 170 to 176. That's where I'd be looking for my bullish price action. That's where I'd be looking to potentially put some buys in. And then on top of that, our stop loss would be so close that the R's would start changing. So in terms of R, we'd be looking at something like this. It's this. So we'd be looking at, so say for instance, we get 176, right? Our stop loss would be here and our target would be the mid-range. Now it's looking a lot healthier. We're looking at roughly a 5R trade. Okay, that makes more sense to me. That's worth risking. If you're risking $1,000, you make 5 back. If obviously if you lose 1,000. If you win, you get around 5,000. That works for me. Getting on board here, the breakout play. I'm telling you, man, I see too many people calling clout for this. Too many people call clout for this. They mark out a very quick range. and they claim clout. They're like, yeah, yeah, look, 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 look. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. You're not gonna in a trending market. You're gonna get screwed. Now, what I'm hoping for here is deviation. Okay, I'm hoping for something like that. If it gets below here, if it gets below, okay, gets back here, we'd be looking for the bullish price action here. This wouldn't be the target one because we're starting to see the higher highs. I'd expect it to shank right through and I'd expect it to start pushing. Okay, so that's Injective. And you know what? We've spent 50 minutes on charts. The plan was to spend 20 minutes on charts. Did you guys enjoy that? At least give me a comment. Let me know in the comments in the live chat. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the charts, yes or no, because we need to start moving on now. We need to start moving on. Sorry for those of you who have tuned in for news. I'm very, very sorry. I'm just sorry. Okay. So what have we got here? What have we got here? So, any comments? Any comments? Hafuel says, I haven't done any research on QNT, but I've seen quite a few people trying to pump it on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, it's trending, isn't it? So naturally, you're going to get a lot of people commenting on it. Dank McDizzle, great to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Agreed, Hafuel, especially in current market conditions. Good to see you, bro. Lily says it seems like a narrative play. Everyone thinks the government picks Quant to onboard their CBDC. Sorry, I mean that just sounds like another crypto play to me. You're right; it does sound like a narrative play. Gimbal, I saw this comment earlier saying any China news. We are going to go into the new stuff in a moment. Okay, we're going to go into the new stuff in a moment. What else? What else? So, oh, look at this. Dank says, I always had NJ as my go-to for FA, but since watching, I've noticed how good he is at TA2. Mad respect. Bro, I'll tell you the truth. Me, Dank, and XO, we all have the same teacher. We all learn from Trader SC. And then XO, he put his own unique twist to it. I've got my own unique twist to it, and Dank has his own unique twist to it. SC's still the best. He still is by far. His strike rate is beyond, but we are all from the same sort of class. In 2018, we were all in the same classroom. I joined the SC classroom, and then I got Dank into that classroom. That's the story. That's how it went, So, so we're all, I would say, equally as good as each other. Crypto Mac, thank you for joining the show. Saying too much alpha. He enjoyed that. Appreciate you. Hafuel saying he enjoyed the charting as well. Mohammed enjoyed the charting. Thank you, guys and girls. I really appreciate it. JMO says yes. Hafuel says yes. Real Underskill says helped a lot as always. Lily said it's great. LT says, of course, we enjoy this. Love the one-stop shop style of yours. Yeah, I appreciate you, my bro. Thank you for that. Phil, what's Phil saying? Phil says it's always nice watching you chart. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Nicholas says, isn't QNT a security now? I don't know. To be honest, I've not kept up with the news. If it is a security, that's not good. That's bearish. That's not what you want to. How's Binance going to trade that if it's a security? Giles is our FA guy. Giles comes into the chat. I've noticed Giles over the last couple of weeks. He comes into the chat and he just blasts the chat with alpha. If there's CPI or FOMC or anything traditional market wise, Giles will just pop it into the chat for all of us here for free, quick time, and he does that. So Giles says there will be no CPI today. Trader Kid says, NJ, would you recommend to join his group to learn more about trading? Like, what I mean is, at the moment, I'm searching a lot and I know how much value SC puts in. Look, I'll be really honest with you. When it comes to SC, you need to be at a certain level. You need to be intermediate. So, like, for example, right, if you're looking at this here, you can't, like, say, for instance, right, you're looking at this chart here, yeah? And we are going to move on in a minute. I promise we are going to move on. If we're looking at this chart here and we're looking at it naked like this, yeah? If you turn around and you say, yeah, NJ, bro, man's looking at INJ, like I'm looking probably $10, probably 10. You're going to get found out very quickly. You're not someone who pays attention to the charts. You're not someone who really understands what's going on in the chart. if you look at the chart and you can say, well, you know what, I don't really understand what's going on here. I can see support and resistance, NJ. I can see resistance here, I can see resistance here, and I can see resistance here. I can see support here, I can see support here, I can see sort of support here, but I don't really understand much more from this, and I don't know if I can really trade it. If I go into the 15-minute time frame, NJ, and I see this, I don't really understand what I'm looking at here. I've just got the support and resistance levels marked out. What do I do? That's when I'd say you're ready to go into SC's class, because SC will say, yes, we've got the range, but he will break down price into a story that you will never be able to tell. And it will only take the smartest of you to understand the story he's mentioning. So 100%, if you can get on board SC's class, it's a great, great way to educate yourselves. All I would say is that the class has grown over the last couple of years. The class is massive now. Make sure you go in, make sure you're lenient with the amount of questions that you ask. Make sure you don't bombard him with too much. Make sure you're respectful to your peers. Just like here on the NJ community, we're respectful to each other in the chat. Make sure you're respectful there as well. Make sure your focus is on learning trading and not get rich quick schemes. Okay, it's not bull market. When it comes to bull market, we'll talk about 100x altcoins, but now is not the day. All right. So anyway, there you go. Nothing else to talk about there. Giles, someone's asking for your Twitter in the chat, bro. Definitely drop your Twitter in the chat, because you drop good info, bro. You drop good info into the chat. Luke, thank you for your comment, Luke. Migs says thank you. It was informative. And Min, my brother from Vietnam, says always. Thank you, Min. And Hamid, good to see you, bro. AC, salam to you, my bro. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to the news, yeah? Let's move on. Finally. Okie dokie. So before we start talking about this stuff, make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Let's have a quick look. We've got 64 likes. We are trying to get to 100. So just if you haven't already, just smash up the likes, all right? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I mean, come on. By now, you should know, right? You should know by now to subscribe to the channel. We are at 4,530 subscribers. We are 470 away from 5K subscribers. I have no idea when that's going to come. I have no idea how we're going to get there. But what I can say is that with your help, I will be able to. So if you guys don't mind, like the video, share it. If you're not joined up to the Telegram link is in the description below. It's the first link to the Telegram. It's for free. All of this stuff is for free, not paid for anything. So yeah, share the video, share the channel, share the content. If it helps you and you think that it can help somebody else as well, get them to subscribe to the NJ show. The more, the merrier. All right. We want it to say 450,000. All right. That's the aim one day. And with you guys, we'll be able to do it. All right. So really appreciate you guys. Make sure you're smashing up the subscribe button, bottom right hand corner, and make sure you're liking the video. All right. I can already see we've got a tiny little like spike there. Keep it coming, lads. Keep it coming, ladies, and everything else in between. Right. So the first thing that we are going to talk about today, before I go into it, Frederico, thank you very much, Frederico, for joining the show. This guy always tunes in from work. He tunes in from work, like he secretly with his laptop tunes in. Appreciate you, Frederico. Have a lovely day. All right, so look, what is going on here? China halts LNG sales to foreign buyers to ensure own supply. What does this mean? And how is it going to affect you? How is it going to affect cryptocurrency? Is Bitcoin going to be affected by this because of the dollar? Is Bitcoin going to be affected by this because of gas prices? Let's have a quick look at this article and let's try and dissect what we can from it in order to understand where we're sitting in the market, okay? Because looking at TA is good. Looking at TA is great, but it's not enough. It really, really isn't enough. If you're focused on TA, and you want to just be a TA guy, good for you. Good for you. It's a very, very handy skill to have. It's a life skill, you know? Is it going to make you the millions that you're looking for? No, it's not. And if anybody tells you that 5R trades every day are possible, or that 10 trades a week, or 10 are this, 50 are that, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. There's probably some cost associated with it. All right. When it comes to bull markets, that's when you make your money, baby. That's where the big 100x's come. That's where the 10Rs come. That's where the 50R comes. In a bear market, you guys saw, if I mark out 10, 15 plans and one of them goes to plan, and then I'm claiming clout off that one plan that went to plan out of the 15 that I put out, you can see I'm chatting shit. Do you see what I'm saying? So open your eyes, open your eyes. When the bull market comes, that's when do you know what I'm saying? If you see XO is a fantastic example. XO will mark out one or maybe two plans, and one of them will unfold. One of them will unfold. You know what I'm saying? If you're marking out 8 plans and like, come on, like, you know? Anyway, so on October 17th, China has asked its state. There we go. That's better. Now you guys can see it. So, China has asked its state owned gas importers to stop reselling liquefied natural gas to buyers in Europe and Asia as it seeks to ensure its own supply for the winter season. Now, break that down into plain English. What that means is, guys, please can you stop selling this natural gas to Europe and to Asia? We need to keep it for ourselves because the prices of gas are too high. We are scarce. We don't have enough energy. We need to save this for our own people. Now, what that's going to mean is in Europe and in Asia, the price of gas is going to go higher because we are losing more supply. And as we lose more supply, naturally, more demand will come into the market. I look like I'm about to fight someone. Okay. China's National Development and Reform Commission has asked PetroChina Co., Sinopec, and CNOOC, I think is pronounced, CNOOC Limited to keep winter cargoes for domestic use, the report said, citing people familiar with the matter. The commission could not be reached for comment. PetroChina, Sinopec, CNOOC did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comments because if you think about it, it's kind of a bit of a snaky move, right? It's like, how do I explain it? You know, like, breakfast. You come downstairs, me, my mum, my dad, my sisters. I get to the breakfast table first. Boy, what spicy sausage? Yeah, what one for each of us? Nah, G, two for me. You lot are gonna have to split that. That's kind of what China are doing right now. Okay, they've made it very difficult. They're making it very, very difficult, and I don't blame them. You've got to look out for your own, right? At the same time, it goes to show you, connect the pieces of the puzzles together. If natural gas is going to become more expensive, if the price of oil is going to become more expensive, if energy in general is going to become more expensive, then what that means is that it's going to cost more in order to get these products. If we excuse me, it's going to cost more to get these products. If we can't get these products because we can't afford them, that's going to slow down growth. It's going to be inflation, right? Inflation, the price of something has inflated. Inflation. At the same time, it's going to continue to slow down growth. It's going to be more of a risk off environment than ever. All right? It's going to be more of a risk off asset. My English is horrible. It's going to be more of a risk off environment than ever. All right? Therefore, it shows us that this is one of the signs that could lead to lower prices in Q4. Okay. Now, notice I charted Bitcoin. I didn't chart the dollar. Notice I charted altcoins. I didn't chart traditional pairs. Okay. Number one, this is a crypto show. Fair play. This is a crypto show. But number two, at the same time, I want you guys to see that it's about time we started looking at this range. You see this range that we've got for Bitcoin? You see this range here that we've got, this orange range high and this orange range low. It's about time we started paying attention to that range. Yes, price can go a little bit higher, but I think it's time to start preparing now to trade between these two blocks and these two blocks. And we're getting the signs. We are getting the signs in the market to prepare us for that. All right. Now, these guys have not come out and made comments because it's the same as getting spanked 5-0, right? You get spanked 5-0, manager goes into hiding. Manager don't want to talk about why you lot lost 5-0, you know? So the news comes as China's LNG importers seek to stay out of the spot market this winter as demand growth has skidded to the slowest since 2002. Simply put, it's too expensive, man. It's too expensive. You know, a barrel of oil, right? it went into the minuses. A couple, I think it was right before COVID. Was it COVID or it might have been just after COVID? But the price of oil was nuts. It was costing me like £40 to fill up my tank. And I'll be putting the most expensive petrol in my car and it'll be like £40. Now, to put the normal petrol is £93, £93, £94. Me and Mac were driving to South London the other day and I had to fill up my tank. It cost £90. And as I walked away from the car, I looked at him and we were both giggling because it was some bull market price, you know? So the price of oil is just getting too much. Like, you're not seeing any queues anymore at the petrol station. It's getting horrible. And this refers to natural gas. Yes, it does. But it shows you that the price of energy as a whole is going to start getting even more expensive. And as it already is, it's so expensive as it already is. We're already starting to go from a inflationary environment to a deflationary environment. This is not going to help, not anytime soon. Okay, moving along. Okay, so we've got the Bank of England now saying that they're going to pause their buying, not pause their buying, but they're going to slow down their buying. So if we look up here, Bank of England statement on end of gilt market operations. In line with its financial stability objective, the Bank of England has carried out temporary and targeted purchases of long-dated UK government bonds since September the 28th. Now, we know that the UK government bonds have been soaring. We know that all bonds in general have been going crazy. The US yields have been going crazy. They've been pushing up. And this is what I mean in terms of a risk-off environment. We don't have to complicate it. We had a bull market for risk on. Now we're having a bull market for risk off. What we need to do is we need to be patient and wait until we have a bull market for risk on again. It's a very, very, a lot of people talk like they I'm telling you, I get a headache, bro. Some people chat the way that they chat. It's like they're so deep in the market. They're like, yeah, you know what? If this person says this and if that person does this, then this is going to lead to a catastrophe. I'm like, bro, shut up, bro. Like, we've had this for the last decade. We've got bull market, bear market, accumulation, bull market. And every bear market, somebody says, you're crazy for believing in Bitcoin. You're crazy for believing this. You're crazy for believing that. Bull market comes and it's like, yo, NJ, what are you saying, bro? You're going to spot me some altcoin bags. I'll be like, bro, you was not there. Like, you said that I was crazy, remember? And you weren't interested and I was stupid and this and that. And now you're asking me for handouts. Like, what go on with you? Expect that a lot in the next cycle. For those of you who are here in the chat now, I'm telling you, expect that a lot in the next cycle, and people as well who are trading like crazy on the 15-minute, they're going to do fuck all in a trending market. They will not know how to trade a trending market. It's going to be horrible, So, like I said, we've got a bull market for risk off. The dollar is in a bull market. No need to be worried. No need to be scared. The dollar is in a bull market. When Bitcoin was in a bull market, you weren't panicking, were you? You were happy. Everybody who was holding traditional assets, they were fucked. They were panicking. They were like, oh man, what's gonna happen? This COVID thing ruined me. Meantime, Bitcoin people, crypto people were loving it. They were partying. Now it's the reverse. So we just got to wait. We just got to be patient, And as we are more patient, we will go back into a risk-on environment where the S&P and Bitcoin and Ethereum and altcoins will go back into a bull market. That will last for a year, But look, Lily says it. Oh, bro, I love this woman, bro. Look, she said it perfectly. So many people I know in real life ditch crypto. 100% they are coming back at the height of the bull. And you know what? It's horrible because there's just nothing you can do, man. There's nothing you can do. There's just nothing you can do. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I lost a lot of friends and family in the last bull market. I'm going to lose even more in the next one because they think that they know better than you. Once you've proven that you know better than them, they want to get in on your success. They want to take some of your success. There's this weird thing where they feel entitled. They feel as though they deserve it. Like, you know what I mean? It's very, very awkward. Very, very odd. It's human psychology that I don't understand. But I'm warning you guys anyway. You guys are going to go through it. In the next bull market, imagine you're going to be catching altcoins so early. We're going to be talking about them here. We're going to be talking about them here. So you're going to catch them early, right? You're not going to be looking to buy Solana at $200, $250 because you would have bought it at 10 or 5 or 8 or whatever it goes to, And then when they get involved, they're going to want you to give them a break or cut them some slack, or bro, like we're family, like we're day ones, like this, like that. When they're not putting no work in, so just be mindful of that. You guys will lose a lot of people in the next cycle. Oh, by the way, Giles is coming in here. So earlier at the very beginning of the episode, I told you guys that the US had the Empire State Manufacturing Index that was coming up, and Giles has said previous is minus 1.5, forecast was minus 4.3, the actual was 9.1. So there you go. So for those of you who are interested in the ESM index, there it is right there. Thank you, Giles. Actually, you know what, Giles? I'm going to make you a mod, bro. I'm going to make you a mod because you add too much value to the channel. How do I make you a mod, fam? Hold on. Hafu, are you able to do it? Are you able to make him a mod? How do I make you a mod? Maybe if I go here. If I go here. All right, hold on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Add moderator. There we go. All right, Giles, you are now a mod. You're now a mod alongside Hafuel. So for those of you in the chat, please show love and respect to our moderators. They work super hard. They're doing it for free. They're part of the NJ community. They look after you guys. They look after me. Show them some love. Show them some respect. And yeah, congratulations to Giles. You are now part of In It for the Tech's higher, more moderative community. All right, so guys, keep your comments coming in. Show some love. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you are subscribing to the show. Let's continue on with this, and then we'll do a cheeky Q&A at the end, and then I'm going to end off the show. All right, so the Bank of England has stopped buying now. Okay, the Bank of England has stopped buying. The bank increased the maximum size of its daily auctions from 5 billion to 10 billion on October the 10th, which was good. Index-linked government bonds were also included with the temporary purchase scheme on October 11th. At the outset of the intervention, the bank said it would carry out temporary purchases on whatever scale was necessary to restore orderly market conditions. Now, I'm not sure how that has panned out because we'll go to the dollar later on, but, ugh. As previously announced, the bank terminated these operations and ceased all bond purchases on Friday, the 14th of October. So that's 3 days ago. All right. As intended, these operations have enabled significant increase in the resilience of the sector. The temporary expanded collateral repo facility announced on October the 10th will remain available until its planned closing date of the 10th of November. Okay? Banks also have access to liquidity from the existing indexed long-term repo facility, a weekly 6-month repo against a very wide range of collateral, the discount window facility, and weekly US dollar repo supported by international swap lines. In addition, the bank makes available reserves via its short-term repo facility each week, designed to ensure short-term market rates remaining closer to the bank rate. Now, it's a difficult one. I'm very neutral on this. I do think that it's going to be like I said, guys, there's too much pointing us to lower prices. There is just too much evidence pointing us to lower prices. I would love to tell you guys that we're going higher. If we had a bull market now, trust me, this show would change, boy. The energy that you'll see from NJ in a bull market, you ain't experienced that yet. It's going to be good fun in that bull market, but now is not the time. And notice as well, they stopped all of this on the 14th of October. So much happened between the 10th of October to the 14th of October, and they've released this on the 17th, They've released this on the 17th, so I'm not happy with that. President Biden here is saying, I'm not concerned about the strength of the dollar. I'm concerned about the rest of the world. Our economy's strong as hell. So why is Biden saying that? Why would he say something so stupid and inane? Now, the reason Biden would say that, and I'll explain why. The reason Joe Biden would say that is the same reason that we would say Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is at an all-time high, and some of us come out, we're like, you know what? Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, I was around for Bitcoin when it was at 10K. I watched it go to 100K. Obviously, me personally, I never think Bitcoin's going below 80K ever again. You know, like Bitcoin is too strong. You know, the market, everybody knows about Bitcoin. Like it's not going lower. And then what happens? Bitcoin goes back to 10K. In fact, it goes lower and they lose all their money because the market has cycles. Okay, the market has cycles. Look, if we look at this chart here, this is my favorite dollar chart. My favorite dollar chart. I love this channel. I love the fact that this channel has been active since the year 2006. This is a 15 to 20 year channel. KAR Crypto, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Afternoon in it for the tech. Sorry, I'm late. Was tied up at work. Good to see you, my brother. Very good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Crypto Max says, you love this chart, so do we. And Dank McDizzle says, NJ will resume rapping when the bull comes. Hell yeah, we will. It's going to be so much fun in the bull market. You watch. Jatinda, welcome to the community, Jatinda. You are very welcome. Everybody in the chat, say hello to Jatinda. Show him what the NJ community is about. Show him how polite and loving we are here in the community. Show him some love, all right? Jatinda, welcome to the NJ community. Nicholas says, respect, fam. Love you, my bro. Love you, my bro. And LT, love heart. Love you too, my bro. JMO, love you, my bro. All right? Love. So with this chart, what makes me love this chart so much is the fact that it's been respected for years. Okay? It's been respected for years. I love how we found resistance here over the years. I love how we found support here over the years. And if you guys watched my show over the last couple of weeks, I said that for the dollar, I've got one macro outlook for the dollar, one that can't be ignored. All right. I said that I want the dollar to find a sideways type of price action here over the next 6 to 12 months, 6 to 9 months. I want to see the dollar go sideways here. Okay. And then I want to see the dollar break down and shoot to this low here, even as far as the mid range. If that happens, that will be where our next bull market starts for cryptocurrency. That is where we're going to start seeing risk off, vanish, and risk on get aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Get really aggressive. That's what I want to see. Because the dollar has been pumping like this, you will see a lot of dollar maxis, a lot of traditional maxis saying, yeah, you know what, like the S&P is for dickheads. Like, I don't really trade the S&P, you know what I'm saying? What, Bitcoin? You're not even a real finance guy if you talk about Bitcoin. You're an idiot, bruv. It's all about dollar. It's all about pound, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're shorting the pound, shorting the euro. It's all about the dollar. Bop, 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 bop. When in reality, you're buying the top G. Look how far the dollar has gone up. Look how far the dollar's gone up. Now, what we need to do, I'm looking for some sideways price action now. I want price to flatten out a little bit. I don't mind how long it wants to stay here. I don't even mind a squeeze up into the 120s. All right. For me, you've got to think of it the same way we think about Bitcoin. When we see Bitcoin do crazy price where it goes from 3,000 all the way to 69, 70,000, when it's at 70,000, it's holding. You look out, you zoom out, you look at the chart and you see to yourself, hold on a second. Can crypto as a whole really sustain this? Has Bitcoin been going up for years and slowly going up and grinding? No, it went up in one go. It went up in 12 months. From November to November, it went from 3K to 70K. It's not sustainable. Likewise with any other market, likewise with any other chart. When I look at this dollar chart, when I have my lines up there, when I have my channels up there, for me, I want to see some sideways price action now, because for me, for the president to be chatting shit like this, you know what? Yeah, I'm not even concerned about the dollar, you know. Our community, we're strong. Dollar's strong. You'd be an idiot to bet against the dollar. My bro, you've been going up. Look how much you've been going up. You're telling everyone to long. He's basically telling everyone to long the dollar, like to some weird way. I don't see finance. Like if he said, like, I'm not concerned about the strength of the dollar, I'm concerned about the strength of the world. Our economy is strong as hell. Not financial advice though, yeah. Just saying, or no homo. He didn't say that. He's just saying, yeah. To be honest, like, if you're betting against the dollar, you're an idiot, bro. Are you serious? If you guys just put this on your charts, yeah? Put this on your charts and go study this channel. Come back tomorrow and tell me what you guys think. Because for me, I'm in love with this chart, I'm in love with this. I don't like charting the dollar because I don't like changing this chart. I love this chart. Sedar is saying, "Are you ready for 30k by end of year, bro?" I'll be honest with you. I would love 30k to come. I don't think 30k is gonna come though. I'll be really honest with you. For me, there's too much to show that there's probably gonna be more downside in Q4. If 30k comes though, I'm positioned. I'm ready for it. I'm positioned for it. So again, when it comes to the dollar. I love. I just get so gassed when I see this. I'm sorry. We need to move on, but like I want to see sideways price action as we lead up to 2024. The Bitcoin halving is in 2024. That's where a lot of the excitement is going to be. I don't know, maybe we break out of this bear market, maybe end of 2023, maybe just a little bit before, maybe Q4 2023, we break out of it. I don't know. But my mood changes when I start talking about it because I can see what's on the horizon. I've seen it before. When people chat to me like I'm an idiot or when people chat to me like I'm crazy, I get excited because I was like, you know what? Younger NJ would have been offended. Younger NJ in the previous bear market would have been butthurt. Like, why is everybody calling me a dickhead, man? Why does no one rate me, fam? You know? But now, because I've seen it before, there is a matureness that I've developed from it. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm crazy. Don't worry, I'll be crazy and I'll be friendless. I'll have no friends in my Lambo. I'm happy. Like, I'll prefer crying in an Urus, like a 23, 24 play Urus, than being friends with everyone I don't want to be friends with anyway. You get me? So just saying. Plus, I've got this loving community here. Throw your comments in, show some love. I just get your comments in. I like it when you guys comment. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, moving along. This is an interesting one that we're going to look at now, all right? I want you guys to look at this next one here. And then we'll do a Q&A after this, all right? Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the sort of we're going to read in between the lines a little bit here because I read this and I thought to myself, what is he talking about here? What is he talking about here? All right. And don't forget, we are going to do a Q&A after this. So I'll stick around for 10, 15 minutes. So start thinking about the questions that you guys want to ask. If you want to just throw up some comments and you want to shout out, feel free to do that. You can send a super chat if you want in. Feel free to do that. I will definitely answer that. So do just get some stuff coming in. All right. So after we talk about this, we can move on to that. All right, then I'm going to wrap up the show. Let's have a quick look as to where we are. We are at 72 likes and we've got over 80 people watching. Like I said, we are trying to get over 100 likes. I need all of you to pitch in and get me that like so that when people are watching it recorded, they can support it too. If you're watching this recorded, do your part. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel, bottom right hand corner. We are on our journey to 5k subscribers and make sure you're hitting the like button too. After 100 likes, it does help with the algorithms. We're not at the stage yet in this show where we can start asking for 200. So you guys are the early people for the NJ community, for the NJ show. All right? So help us out. Help us out. Now, China tells the citizens to leave Ukraine amid nuclear fears. Evacuate now. Now, this is the kind of news that when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, whoa, this is headline news. This is headline. China has told its citizens in Ukraine to evacuate the country immediately, fueling fears a nuclear attack is imminent. According to the Chinese state media, the Chinese embassy in Ukraine is helping to organize the sudden exodus. With the current grim security situation in Ukraine, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Chinese embassy in Ukraine urged Chinese citizens in the country to enhance safety precautions and evacuate, the Global Times tweeted. This is not a joke, This is not a joke. This is serious. Separate reports say the foreign ministry and the embassy also made the appeal in a press release. So it's coming from multiple sources. Those in Ukraine should contact the embassy as soon as possible and register their personal information, one Chinese website said. People who voluntarily evacuate and transfer by themselves are asked to report to the diplomatic mission. Now, look, I have a question here. All right? The first question I've got here is, Do China know something that we don't know? That's the first question, because that's the kind of shit that will really make the market go crazy, you know? That's the kind of thing that can send Bitcoin to 10K. If someone launched a nuke, the last time somebody launched a nuke was, what was it? It was Pearl Harbor, was it? Was it Pearl Harbor? That was the last time. Someone in the chat, let me know. When was the last time somebody launched a nuke? Launching a nuke, or was it Chernobyl? Um, One thing I will say is, if somebody launches a nuke, I have no idea what the market is going to do. I don't know what the dollar is going to do. I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. I don't know what the S&P will do. If somebody launches a nuke, it's going to be very, very different. Frederico coming in here saying it was Hiroshima. So Hiroshima was the last nuke that was launched, World War II. Thank you, Frederico. Thank you, brother. So, I have no idea what will happen now. Is Russia in a position to launch a nuke to hit Ukraine? I don't know. If Russia want, the thing is, right, look, this is the thing. If Russia nuke Ukraine, then they're not going to be able to take they're not going to be able to take the place. Everyone's going to die, and there's going to be radiation there for the next like 30 years, 40 years. But that's not, I thought you were trying to take the land back. I thought you were trying to take Kiev for yourself. So if they're looking to take Kiev, I don't think that they would nuke it. At the same time, for China to be doing this, it concerns me heavily. All right. Now, I don't know if somebody's going to launch a nuke or not. I hope that doesn't happen. All right. For the sake of just humanity and for the sake of human lives, I just hope that doesn't happen. But in terms of the market response, if we want an unbiased market look towards it, I think that if Russia launch a nuke towards Ukraine, a lot of people are going to stand against Russia and say, hey, that was out of order. You can't do that. You're becoming a human enemy. Like, you're becoming an enemy of humanity and not just an enemy of Ukraine. And what that will do is Russia will say, "Hey, screw you, screw you. I don't care what you lot think. Have it, have it." What they're gonna do is they're gonna say, "Well, I'm keeping all the gas. I'm keeping all the oil. Go to hell." And then what that's gonna do is that's going to make oil and natural gases go even further higher. It's going to make the cost of energy go so bonkers that it's going to be the complete opposite of what happened in COVID, and we're all gonna get bent. So I really, really don't know what to say on this. There's so much that we can talk about on this. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think about the situation, because you know, in terms of where I see Russia going with this, I would expect some sort of de-escalation by this point. I would expect some sort of de-escalation. And perfect comment here from HJJ, who says today's nukes are at least 10 times more powerful. All right, so I'm very, very, very I don't know, it's very dangerous, very dangerous. So we'll see how all of that unfolds. We will see how that unfolds. At the moment, I don't think we should be panicking over a potential nuke. I think that, if Russia do that, it's going to change everything drastically. I think we're going to be having to look at World War III. All right. We'll see as it unfolds. All right. We'll see how it unfolds. But at the same time, remember what I said about Bitcoin. It's about time we started preparing ourselves now for that lower range. There's no reason to be upset about it. There's no reason to be worried about it. We know about market cycles. It's very easy. Go in the playlist for In It for the Text YouTube channel, go to education, look at my market cycles review to help understand what market cycles are. Market cycles come with and without the news, man. You know what I'm saying? The news just helps accelerate it to where it needs to go. The direction of price will always be the direction of price. Now, that was an excellent way to end the show. We'll do a quick Q&A and then I'm going to shoot off. I want to say a massive shout out to Sedar here, who has given us a super chat, and he says, I'm in it for the tech. Sedar, I'm glad you're part of this community, mate. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, my brother, and a big shout out to Sedar. Okay, big shout out. Any more comments from Sedar? He says it doesn't have to be a radioactive nuke. It doesn't have to be, but I'm telling you, if they launch a nuke, it's nuclear. Nuclear means radioactive. It's not going to be a bomb. A bomb, to blow up the place, it will not be as hard as a nuke. A nuke will take the whole city out, bro. You know what I mean? So in terms of Yeah, all right, much smaller spread. Frederico says tactical nukes are very different from a proper one, much smaller spread, but it's still a nuke. You can't live there. It becomes uninhabitable. It becomes uninhabitable for years. Look at Chernobyl, you know? And if it becomes inhabitable after all these years, then they're not nuking Ukraine in order to take it back. They're nuking it because they just want to hurt them. You know what I mean? So the market reaction is going to be wild. Now, I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm literally just talking about my own opinions, the same way you guys are giving me your opinions in the chat. But I don't know. It's not looking, it's not looking good. Now, KAR comes in and says that's when my BTC to 3850, the COVID lows analysis might come into play. Yes, we've had that on the show as well. We've had that on the show. So SC talked about the COVID lows and how it's possible that, because we're always in a range, right? If we are going lower and lower and lower, let's say, for instance, we go to 11K, we play that range for a month or two, and then we start breaking even lower. We'd have to look for the price below. We'd have to look for ranges below to try and ascertain where price could be going. Now, in terms of taking out the stops, the lower we go, the closer it will be that the COVID lows would be those stops. So we'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to go that low. I think the lowest price that we could see on Bitcoin would probably be around 7K. That is the lowest though. I don't think that it would go lower than that. And to be honest with you, I think 14, 12 to 14 holds. I want to say 10 will come. I want to say 10 will come. I want to say 11 will come. I think 12 is going to hold. We'll see. We'll see. Don't quote me on it. There's plenty of time for all of this to unfold. We'll see what happens. Um, um, Sam here says, I've never watched you, but love your stream, man. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate you, brother. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the show, by the way. Make sure you're sharing it. Tune into the Telegram if you haven't tuned into the Telegram. All right, the Telegram is in the first link in the description below. We just broke 1,000 members on that Telegram channel. Amazing to see the growth of In It for the Tech, for the NJ community. I'm really enjoying being with you guys and really, really getting closer and closer to the next bull market. We are going to smash it in the next bull market. I can say that from fact, okay? I can say that from fact. There are many, many people that I know, even in my own circle, who claim that they know so much. It's the lack of shame. It's the lack of honor that really bothers me. The lack of shame. People even in my own circle claiming clout for things that they never did, selling dreams, etc., etc., etc. So just be mindful, protect yourself, preserve your capital. In the next bull market, when we start talking about altcoins that you can buy, that I can buy, obviously not financial advice, but yeah, then we will smash it. Okay, we will. What's Max saying? Max says 19 more likes till 100. Let's have a look. We are 18 more likes until 100 likes. So if you are subscribed to the channel, if you are watching this live or recorded, please make sure you are smashing the like button. Okay, helps with the algorithms. Okay, let's have a look at what HJJ is saying here. Would you recommend moving from USD to CHF now we are reaching the range highs of the channel? Look, I can't give you financial advice. I don't think the dollar's just going to top out from here and shank in one go. I think we need to see some sideways price action. The dollar was in a bull market for 6 to 12 months. The dollar was in a bull market. Okay. The dollar started going in November 2021, around the same time that Bitcoin topped out. And it's been pushing like crazy ever since. At the same time, Bitcoin has been going lower since. Now, I don't think the dollar's just going to top out and it's going to shank to the lows. I don't think it's going to do that. I think it's going to take a year to unfold. I think the dollar will need an accumulation period, a distribution period. Then we can start selling off. That's when the bear market for the dollar would start. We sell off into the lows. That would take another 6 to 9 to 12 months. And then we can accumulate for the next dollar bull market. Okay? That's what I think. So in terms of CHF, the Swiss pair, I can't tell you if it's good to buy into that or not. That would be a shorter term trade. For the time being, I think the demand for the dollar is still there. So at the very minimum, I don't think the dollar will lose much of its valuation. I just don't know how much higher it can go because it doesn't seem sustainable to me, So yeah. So Lily says, Sailor nuke would be worse than the 3AC nuke. Yeah, I mean, He'll dump like what? How many millions of Bitcoin he'll dump? I agree, he will. Um, well, he's got like what 40,000 Bitcoins or something like that. If he did, we'd have a dump. We would dump, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. All right. Elon Musk had much more than Sailor. He had way more than Sailor. All right. So I don't think Sailor would cause that much of a massive impact. Yeah, we'd get some sell off, fine, but it wouldn't overall change the direction of where Bitcoin is going. Okay, Sadar here is saying that he's got 130k BTC. That's a lot, but he's not going to go onto he's not going to transfer it to Binance and hit market sell in one go. He would sell in chunks. Um, it would be a lot of pressure. It would be a lot of pressure on the market, but we're prepared for it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I did tell you guys it's time that we started preparing for the lower ranges of Bitcoin. It's time that we did. Tarek saying clout chasers are the worst. I agree with you, brother. They are. What's Mwiti saying? Mwiti is saying the whales have been absorbing a lot of liquidity lately in one of the most brutal ways I've seen. Trading ain't sustainable right now. I agree with you, bro. To some degree, I agree with you. There's a lot of people that's doing that's charting on the 15-minute, the 20-minute charts. They're not gonna go nowhere. I'm telling you now, it's very, very, very easy to pinpoint the LARPers. It's really, really easy. If you know what you're looking for, if you start asking questions, if you start looking for the signs, you'll very quickly see who is here for followers, who is here for clout, and who is here to actually make money. Okay? Now, I've got to be really honest with you guys. I'm here because I want to make money. Okay? I'm in crypto because I'm addicted to the amazing gains that crypto has to offer. I'm here because I love Bitcoin. I love altcoins. When altcoins start going crazy, it gives me the biggest adrenaline spikes I've ever had in my entire life. I love making money. Okay? Now some people have confused that notion with followers on Twitter, followers on YouTube and any other platforms in which they might host their content on. And that is just the stage of the market that we're in. Okay? Desperation for clout is at an all-time high. That is where the market is at the moment. And in terms of trading being not sustainable, it's just not worth it. It's just not. If you save $100 a month now and the next bull market happens in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, and you've saved $500 to $1,000, I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm not selling you a dream here. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people take $1,000 in a bull market, not in a bear market, not in an accumulation period, but in a bull market. I've seen them go from 1,000 to 3-4 mil. All right. It's all about timing. And now is not the time. Now is the time to be studying, building, learning, not trading the 15-minute. But I can only advise you guys so much. Right, guys. I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat, so I'm going to assume that we are done from here. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video. We are 13 away from 100. Subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner takes a second to do. I will love you and leave you from here. Thank you for joining the show for all of you guys who have. And I will see you tomorrow or potentially Wednesday for another episode of the NJ Show. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right. Telegram link, first link in the description below. Get you there. Get yourself there. All right. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye. Have a lovely day. Cheers. Bye.